Jody. I'm a digital imaging specialist here at Toronto ImageWorks, and today we are going to talk about bleed. So the first thing is, what is bleed? So bleed is 1/8 of an inch all around of extra image, not white border. So for example, what I have in front of me here, this is, say you want a 20 by 30 final mounted size. That's your inside guide here. And that means you have to print at 30.25 by 20.25, which is all the extra around the outside. Now all that extra gets trimmed away during the mounting process, so you end up with a final 30 by 20 print. Bleed is added so that if there's any misalignments in the mounting process, it doesn't result in a white line around your final mount. Let's start with an image. Actually, we're going to start with the same image here. I'm just going to grab it from my desktop. And we are going to add bleed. So I'm going to open it in Photoshop, and I like to work with my rulers. That's Command R, just so I can see what size everything is here. The best way I think to start is to figure out what size you want, add the bleed to it, and crop it down to that size. So we're going to grab our marquee tool, which is M, or this symbol over here, and we're going to choose a fixed ratio of, I want this to be 30/20 final mounted size. So I'm going to make it 30.25 by 20.25. And I'm just going to drag out my marquee. And it's actually almost the right dimensions. I'm just going to use the arrow keys to pull it over a little bit. So it's centered, and I'm going to say image crop. Okay, so now I should have the right aspect ratio. I'm going to go to image size, which is Command Option I. And even though I've fixed it at a ratio of 30.25 by 20.25, that's not actually the size of it. So I'm going to unclick Resample Image. I'm going to change my width to 30.25, and ta-da, the height is 20.25. I'm going to click Resample Image back on again. I don't like decimal points in my resolution, so I'm just going to delete that. You can do by cubic sharper because we're reducing, and say OK. So now my image again is 30.25 by 20.25. My resolution is good. We can print anywhere from 150 to 300 dpi, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to say OK. I still have my marching ants on, so I can hit Command D to deselect those. Depending on what your image is, you might be very concerned about what's around the edge that's going to be trimmed off. On this image, it doesn't really matter, but we can check and see what is actually going to be trimmed off. So if you go to Fixed Size, again, still in your marquee tool, and type in 0.125, which is 1/8 of an inch, by 0.125, 1/8 of an inch, it's going to give us a little tiny rectangular or square marquee. I'm just going to pull out some guides. Okay, and I'm going to do it again in this corner down here. And again, just drag over some guides. And drag down some guides. And Command D will deselect that. Now I can see everything outside of these guides is what is going to be trimmed off. And I'm okay with that. It works for this image. Depending on what your image is, you may want to adjust your cropping so that nothing is being cropped out that you don't want to have cropped out. I'm going to save this. I'm just going to call it 30 by 20 with bleed. And now my image is set up and ready to print. If you're sending us TIFFs, no image compression, interleaved, pixel order, no layers, say OK. OK, so that's one scenario. There's also, if you are printing with borders and you want it to be mounted with borders, which is quite a popular thing to do as well, you still need to add bleed. So I will show you how to do that. Let's just grab a different image here. We'll open this up in Photoshop as well. And once it opens up here, I'm going to add my rulers again. Command R, Option Command I is for image size. It's actually already set up 30 by 20 at 200 dpi. That's totally fine. That's the size I want it, but I want to add borders. So I'm going to say OK. And now I'm going to adjust the canvas size. So Option Command C for canvas size. And if I want 1-inch borders all around, I have to add 2 inches all around. And I'm going to add white and say OK. Now my image is the size that I want it, but this is the final mounted size that I want. So now I have to add bleed. So I'm going to go back into canvas size again, Option Command C, and I'm going to add that 1/8 of an inch, which is 0.25. 0.25, an 1/8 of an inch on each side makes 1/4 of an inch total. So 32.25 by 22.25. Say again in white, I'm going to say OK. And now I have my bleed. Again, we can take the marquee tool with our fixed size of 0.125 by 0.125 all the way around, pull out some guides, again in the bottom corner, and again pull out some guides here. And now we can see that we have that extra bleed that's going to be trimmed off in the mounting process. If you are printing custom prints with Toronto ImageWorks, you don't need to worry about any of this because the technicians here will take care of all these details with your files to make sure that they are printed, mounted, framed at the proper sizes that you've asked for. If you are printing bulk printing with us, this is something that you will have to take care of yourself. If you want to have your prints mounted to a specific size, you will need to add bleed. If you have any other questions or concerns, you can always contact us here at Toronto ImageWorks. And I hope you found this helpful. Have a nice day.